Terence Crawford was on the Breakfast Club, and it was hilarious. Charlemagne came out. Terence Crawford had his spot. Charlemagne had to go take a seat somewhere else. Told him to say sorry. Charlemagne apologized. And I thought it was interesting that Terence Crawford said the fight could have been stopped in the seventh. The A lot of people were talking about Derrick James could have stopped that fight because if your fighter goes in there and takes not just the physical damage but the psychological damage of getting beat from pillar to post, that's a lot to come back from. And Terence Crawford was talking about, he hasn't lost on the professional level, but he knows what it's like, I guess, in the amateurs. And he was saying how that can mess with your mind and you start questioning yourself. You start thinking, do I still got it? Stuff like that. So it's important. A trainer's not just there to tell you to do your jumping jacks and road work and your strength and conditioning. He's also supposed to be able to get a fine-tuned eye on what's going on in the fight and make the proper adjustments. And if you see your fighter's not capable of winning on that night, stop it before, psychological and physical damages take place. And, this next fight coming up with AJ and Robert Helenius, thanks to Dillian White's tests, we'll see what Derrick James, what his mood is like. We'll see if he tries to change. Maybe I wonder if he's going to change up his game plan with Joshua, thinking, I didn't win with Errol Spence. Maybe I want to change up the plan with AJ. We'll see what happens. But I wouldn't be so quick to count Derrick James out and say, he's a bad trainer, just because a fighter loses one fight, two fights, even three fights doesn't make him a bad fighter necessarily. And because Derrick James might lose one, two, three fights doesn't make him a bad trainer. It's all about his decision making during the fight, his game plan, his ability to adapt and teach his fighter something. You have to teach, that's what's lacking with a lot of today's trainers. Not much teaching going on. In fact, I saw an interview a week or two ago with Antonio Tarver, and he was like, man, I could train these guys, bring them here. I could show them. And that's what I would want. I would want a guy that's actually been in the ring, and because he knows what you're going through because he's been out there. That's one problem I have with Malik Scott. I know a lot of people were big on Malik Scott training Deontay. And I'm like, how are you going to show a guy how to fight that beats you? Like, if you knew how to teach him how to fight, then why didn't you win? Am I the only one, Well, I talked about this with Terrible Tim Witherspoon, and we were on the same page. I ain't trying to cause no beef between nobody, but if I knock out somebody, I'm not gonna call that dude up and be like, hey man, can you teach me how to fight? No, I just knocked you out, even if it looks suspect. But anyway, go check out the interview if you choose to with Terence Crawford doing his victory lap on the Breakfast Club. I thought it was pretty funny, and he said he would stick around to fight Tank Davis because Tank Davis was saying he would knock out Terence Crawford, and yeah, that's not gonna happen. I like Tank Davis, but he's kind of small. Not always going by size, but that's a big difference. He's got to go up weight. He's got a height problem he'd have with Terence Crawford. He'd have to deal with the switch up, the southpaw. So Terence Crawford would beat Charlo. He would beat Tank Davis. I like hearing the story back when Terence Crawford was sparring with Shakur Stevenson back in the day. Shakur Stevenson's telling the story. You can go find that on YouTube, where he thought he was gonna go in there and handle Terence Crawford, and he said he beat him up so bad he's like, wow. So Terence Crawford's ring IQ is very, very, very high. People like him, Usyk. In fact, there's a video out there of Terence Crawford and Usyk playing chess together. I wonder who won that. But people like Usyk, Terence Crawford, Tyson Fury. These fighters have high ring IQs. Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson had a high ring IQ, still does. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. N.W.J, the world's most dangerous boxing platform. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe. LSR forever. If I hadn't said that, sometimes I talk so much I forget what I've said. Might repeat myself. LSR forever. That's worth repeating. And subscribe and make sure this page takes off like a vehicle or car or truck or van with the brakes off. Thank you for watching. Until next time.